Right. So, I want to do a little blurb about Canadian history. And obviously, I've touched on this with the Kent Monkmen and the RCMP, Natives. One of the other videos, go and look at it, please. It's, the world out there wants to think that Canada is weak because of our current prime minister, and he's from the outside. Since he is a drama teacher, he's quite the actor, and he loves to stir things up to divide and conquer. Let's be real about it, because that's the gist of the rise to power in politics. And I think he took a little too much of the prince to heart, because I will not state nor perceive any person in politics to be, completely retarded. Obviously they're intelligent enough to be able to manipulate and negotiate their way through other people and the systems that are in place. It's not always about money. There's a lot more human characteristics that are required to be a leader, let alone be a decent one. It's very easy to get burnt out in that position, in these positions of power, of stupid people, right? And the perception thereof of whom is stupid and who is not, right? Because inherent biases are a thing in our evaluation of everyday activities and everyday people. And the perceptions and understandings and the communications of our past, with the use of technology and the message, right, the propaganda, for which I continue to hit people over the head with these videos as much as possible, because frankly, you can't fix stupid, right? I'm getting a little more aggressive in some of these videos, and sometimes I'm calmer. Whatever, I'm a human. I'm not going to get things right all the time, but nonetheless, I'm right most of the time, right? I'd say 90% of the time I'm correct about what I say, which is very reasonable, if you ask me. But my detractors now or in the future will look at my videos and say, "Oh, that's the stupidest man on the planet. How could he say all these things? How does he know all these things?" To erode my character and my life experiences for the purposes of their own agendas, because that there is the politics. And I'm tired of people looking at Canadians as if we're Americans, and we're not. Okay, we're not Americans. We share a lot in common with our shared histories and some of our origins, but we share more in our cultural values with Scandinavians and Russians, because of the climate, right? Because of where we are in latitude, the same how we have to live. The winter is much rougher up here than it is in a lot of places in the States. And you think about the States, and the people down there, right, have it very easy in comparison. Like the closer, this is well documented, and it's in the intelligence stratification according to origin and geographic location, right? The closer that you are to the equator, right, the easier it is, except for at the hottest climates, where it's a bit of a sine wave as it follows the environment, because you think about Northern Europe and you have winter, and you have to be inventive. You have to be able to create shelters. You have to have come about to not a nomadic but a sedentary agricultural society, because to be nomadic is not sustainable, right? It's very high risk, and it's very vulnerable. And even then, if you think about the history of Romanians, because they were always known as being gypsies, right, and transient, along with other Eastern European cultures, that they have their horse and buggy, their wagons. That makes me think about the tribes people of the steppes in the Ural Mountains, having descended from Russia and Tartar kings even further, and like north of Turkey, uh, all the way through the stands and Mongolia, right? Like the whole expanse, right? There's a lot to be traced through there, and there's a lot of reasons to respect us for who we are. And again, I get sick and tired of people coming here and okay, I forgive them, but I don't forget, right? Let's be honest about this. I will not forget the mistreatments of other people. Having been in places where there's basically nothing, right, with like 60 to 70 mile per hour winds horizontally in the Arctic. Like, I got nothing to prove to any of you. I've seen it. I've been there. Please listen. Otherwise, I can't help you. I just can't. Right? There's a lot of delicate ecology up here, and again, I get mad. I get just environmentalism, climate change, blah, blah, blah. As if we don't know the climate does. As if we didn't know the climate changes. It's always changing. It always was. What's the fucking deal? Okay, like, piss off. We got bigger fish to fry. Instead of blaming humanity for all of our problems, when considering, that we are just one small factor in a much larger matrix of evaluation. And the same with Canadians. We're not as small, and we're not as insignificant, and we're not as weak as people think we are, just because of our polite and helpful nature. This is why we get angry and we go on rampages when it comes to wartime, is because you just get absolutely fucking sick and tired of it. It's just like, okay, so let's end the fucking thing. Let's be done and over with it, so we can go back to having babies. I'd much rather be drinking beer and making babies right now than fighting you. So fucking insufferable, right? When you take advantage of a people and their hospitality, what do you expect to happen? If you take advantage of people for their kindness and their openness, what do you expect to happen? And obviously, there's going to be a swing sooner or later of the pendulum, right? Overton window shifts from one side to the other. But only stupid people support communism and slavery. Like absolute communism, like absolute slavery, right? This is just the truth of the matter. And I ain't got time for that no more, right? And I'm absolutely inspired by this movie, as I have by other Canadian productions. The Louis Cyr, strongest man in the world, right? And I'm obviously on a little bit of a fitness journey myself, trying to improve my physical nature as a demonstration of my attractiveness, because again, Canadian men are just not appreciated. We're not appreciated. Canada is so underappreciated right now because of politics, right? And because of this identity mumbo jumbo, this rainbow warrior intersectional bullshit, right? And we're just just allowing it to happen. And again, and just the erasure of Canadian history, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't take these fucking bullshit opinions and altered history, these alternative histories that we believe to be exotic, but frankly, they're so corruptible. They're not supported by enough evidence to be true, and so I can't support it. It's so fucking insufferable. I'm gonna tear people new assholes left, right, and center until people start listening. What else am I gonna do, right? I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna fucking commit suicide. Go fuck yourself. Mon cœur est très fort. Ma corde est très fort aussi. Je veux un nouveau respecté pour nos pays. Car nous deservons ça. If I'm gonna, do a bit of franglais. Il n'est pas raison maintenant de continuer ce merde de monde. Il y a beaucoup d'histoires devant mon peuple. Je me souviens. Ma langue dans ma bouche est la langue de ma mère, ma grand-mère. Je n'ai oublié Québec. J'aime mon pays et mon province et mon histoire. L'origine, la diversité. C'est ce compliqué, mais il n'est pas mauvaise. I think that gets the point across.